and welcome to the Self Checkout Show. I'm your host, Uncle Phil. It's
Oh,
me. Yes, we are glad to have you. Glad
Uncle
to have you
Phil.
guys. Yeah. Oh, what did happen to my
I
sister here? Okay, well, we're going to wait and see what
might have to
happened with her.
straighten some stuff out.
But we want to welcome you guys to the show. Um, as we do each and every Monday night. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your favorite Christian talk show, and we are here tonight to have another grand old time as we do each and every week. It's been, um, when the pandemic began, I started the self checkout show. I
Okay.
don't think it was called that at first. I don't even remember what it was called, but um, no, I think it was called self checkout. Yeah, and then I just made it into
Mm-hmm.
a talk show, if you will.
Okay.
And here we are, 4 years later, um, still celebrating life, still doing life big.
Yeah.
Um, Coach, I think that the pandemic showed us a lot of things.
It did. It did.
Um,
It did.
and one of the things that it showed us was that we could, in fact, be more productive than we had been being.
Absolutely. It gave us
Um,
that and change of attitude.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. For me, I I was sharing with some of my coworkers because they always, they know I like to travel a lot, and I'm always with you guys when we go places and stuff. And they ask me every week, "Where you going this weekend?" or "When's the next trip?" And I share with them that I had to really, really think. Being locked down for what, 2 years,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
not being able to do anything. I it made good evening, Minister Kimmy. Good evening. Thank you for
Good
tuning in
evening.
tonight. It made me think of how I really wasn't living,
Exactly.
and because like it for me, it was like, man, like I can't go anywhere, and now I want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I thought about that, and I'm like, wait, whenever this thing is over, I'm going to make it my business to live life on purpose.
Because we was just living.
We was just living,
We was just
ex-
living. And we really thought we was
existing.
doing it.
Right,
We thought we was doing it big.
right.
Then you
And
get a
so,
little time along with yourself and you start thinking.
look, that's what did it right there.
Hmm.
That's what did it. And I'm like, and I
Hmm.
could be honest, you know, it was like we lost over 1 million people to COVID,
Hmm.
and we were trying to be as careful as we could. And I ended up with COVID, and I was like, Lord, I don't want, hey, mama, love you.
Hey,
I was like, I don't want to be one of the million.
I
I
know
want to
that's right.
live. God's got purpose for my life. I
Exactly.
can't go out like this.
Yeah.
And um, thankful to God that He kept us alive, to experience and live through something that we have never seen before.
Hmm.
And chances are we may never see something like this again in our lifetime.
Or if we do, it will be worse.
God, please. Oh, boy. Um, but, surviving COVID-19 and the pandemic, I said, no, I haven't been living. I haven't
Yeah,
been living. I've just been merely existing.
that's it. That's
And
it.
I made it my business. I said, when we come out of this thing, I'm going to live like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I
You're just
have
making
been doing
excuses.
just that.
You make excuses and you find you what happens is that you get scared.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't really want to do that. Or you putting off what you could be doing. Or I could do that next year. Or I could do that as if it was promised.
right,
And
right,
it's not.
right. Yeah. So, you know, yeah, so I was explaining that to my coworkers, and um, we'll be going to LA in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
On the 10th, we're going to LA for 3 days, and then of course my big birthday is coming. Gonna have a big party here.
Yes.
Um, so we gonna act the
We're
fool
gonna
that
turn up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna I'm gonna have a huge party for my 50th, and then of course we're going out of the country. But my point for saying all this is, you guys that are watching, live your lives,
Yeah,
live your lives, enjoy life. I mean, I believe that God wants us to really enjoy life while we are on earth. I believe that,
that's correct.
and I'm making it my business to do that. My sister, uh, okay, I know where Dr. Nancy is. Okay, so she is going to be typing in her responses. She is someplace at the moment where she cannot.
She's busy.
Uh, she tried to come on, but I don't think it's going to work for her. She's a little busy.
She's
So,
busy.
Dr. Nancy, we love you and we will miss you tonight. If you can join us before we get off, by all means, please do. But the coach is here, so we got it. And Dr. Nancy, I will be asking questions that you can answer because, of course, we are going to end our 4-part series tonight. It's been a blast, man. It's really, really been a blast. Before we say I do, we're going to finish that off tonight. Please, those of you who are watching by Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I don't call it X, it's always going to be Twitter to me. If
Always.
you don't mind, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, please share this live show tonight. And if you are on Twitter, please retweet. Actually, let me go. See, I got 2 Twitter pages. I got one
Oh,
for my personal, and I got one for the ministry. So we are going to try to go on over here and see if we could share that or retweet the show while we are live. Yes, we can. All
yes.
right. So, by way of announcement, you need to know that tonight is the last self checkout show until
Man.
the first Monday in May, which will be May 6th. We are taking a break from the show because Willie Taylor Ministries has some classes that we are doing starting next Monday night. And they are classes on the spiritual gifts. So the self checkout show will be off the air for the entire month of April. Hey, Miss Marie, don't you go anywhere. Thank you for being with us tonight. So
Mhm.
we will be off the air, but of course, if you miss us and you miss our voices, you can always go over to Spotify. That's where our audio podcast of this show is. All you have to do is search for the self checkout show, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and our TikTok channel. They are both at the self checkout show. On YouTube, there you can rewatch old shows, old messages, sermons, classes, everything. It's all on that page. So the classes do begin on next Monday, and they are on the spiritual gifts. And our first teacher, she has 2 weeks, is going to be Prophetess Paula Dickens from the Powerhouse Chicago under the leadership of Archbishop William Hudson III and Lady Andrea Hudson. So we want you guys to participate in these classes. We would definitely appreciate you uh, coming to the class for yourself, or if you don't want to sponsor someone. Each class is only $25. And I don't believe that you get to a place where you've graduated spiritually to where you know it all. I don't believe that. I think that we should always be learning. And even if it's something that you think you got, I promise you there is a revelation that someone else has that will add to what you already know. You could learn some more or to enhance what you already have, what you already know. So please join us in these classes. We need more registrants. Y'all know I'm totally honest and transparent when it comes to things concerning WTM. We have not even met half of the budget that we need to make this happen. But I believe that it's going to happen. And I'm not coming down off of that. So we do solicit your support. Marie Brown, Sister Marie. Y'all, we love Sister Marie so much at SDMI. We love her. I specifically inboxed her tonight and asked her to make sure she was on the show tonight because myself, Pastor John, and Apostle RJ went out to dinner yesterday to Carson's Ribs. Yes, Lord. We went to Carson's. And somehow we got to talking about you, Miss Marie. We got to talking about how sweet you are. And exactly, Dr. Nancy. She is such a blessing to, don't be no hater though, on the Carsons. Don't hate.
Oh.
Don't do that. So, Ms. Marie, we got to talking about how sweet you are, how much of a blessing you are, and the seeds that you sow into people. And let me tell you about Miss Marie. She gonna make sure Pastor Will has some Arizonas. Huh? She gonna make sure I have me some lemon Oreos. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. She gonna make sure her pastors have snacks and fruits and just things, and other staff pastors of the church. Those are her seeds that she sows into people.
That's good.
And it is such a blessing. And I know that Marie loves teaching. She give you Baby Ruth. Now wait a minute now. Now, Marie, we got to talk about this because she don't need. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait a minute now.
Hey, BFF Nita, all the way in Texas. Glad to have you. So, Miss Marie, because you love to sow into other people, myself, Willie Taylor Ministries, we want to sow into you. So we are saying to you that every Monday next month, we want you to join us for our classes, fully paid. You don't have to worry about paying a dime. We just want you to come and be, blessed and let these teachers impart into you. We love you. We appreciate you, Miss Marie. So we want to gift you with all 5 classes next month, spiritual gifts classes. So we love you and we thank you and we appreciate you for all that you do.
That's good.
Yes. Everybody else, register, please and thank you. And by way of another announcement, you are so very welcome. We love you so much. You are welcome. By way of another announcement, this is huge. And this one, guys, this ain't for you. Ladies, this is for married women only.
Oh.
For wives only. My big sister, Dr. Nancy Murphy, is a guest speaker or panelist. I don't know however you want to call that, but she is a speaker on taking sexy back. candid conversations about healthy sexual intimacy. And this is hosted by my other sister, Pastor Andrea Hudson. And that
Yeah.
is going to take place on April 20th. And you, married women, you want to be a part of this discussion. And they're going to be shopping, and there's going to be some giveaways and much, much more. Of course, joining Dr. Nancy is going to be Ivana Miles. I have heard her speak. She is also amazing.
She's good.
But my sister, Dr. Nancy, is speaking, and she's gonna shut it down. Okay. If she don't know nothing else, she know marriage stuff. So they are going to talk about.
I'm going.
You going? All right. Well, go on then.
Why not?
Nita, it's April 20th. I don't know exactly what day of the week that is. Oh no, I see now. If you just take time and read, boy, it's on a Saturday. It's on a Saturday at 1 p.m. April 20th. All right. So yes, you can register for this event at www.andreashudson.com/events. And if you are married, you can go to this event and support Dr. Nancy and support Pastor Andrea. So we're excited about that for Dr. Nancy. We know you're going to really, really do great. We know. We already know. So those are our announcements for tonight. And again, to those who are just coming in, we welcome you to the Self-Checkout Show. Of course, it's your favorite Christian talk show. And Coach Crystal, the pressure to get married is still very prevalent in many, many countries.
It is.
Listen to this. As crazy as it may sound, in 2019, Indian policemen were sent to 9,000 unmarried men in order to find a solution for their singleness and talk with their families about possible alternatives to being single. Yeah. You are not wrong when you think that in this case, singleness sounds like a sickness or some type of disease, right? But apparently, those police in India also feel that way. The argument is that unmarried young men are more likely to participate in violent incidents and become involved in crime and drug dealing. So it is the police's responsibility to marry them up. Wow, and wow some more. So, well, Coach, what are your thoughts on that right there?
Well, in most countries, they uphold marriage, and the women normally stay at the house until they find a husband, and money is given and that family is cared for. That's part of their ethnicity, their tradition.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't think that it's odd. I think the approach is a little bit odd because it's normally an arranged marriage that they're setting up from childhood.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
I guess those arranged marriages aren't panning out.
Yeah, welcome. Good evening, Tabby. We love you. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, it was a while for me too, sister. I'm like, and it's true what you said, Coach. In certain cultures or ethnicities, when you get a certain age, they like,
you have to get married.
Time for you to jump the broom.
Yeah,
right.
And especially in India, they groom them.
Yes, they do. Yep.
You are a single young man. You're going to go to college. You're going to get this degree. You can take care of your family. There's an expectation of you having children. That's part of it.
So let me ask this: why does society pressure singles to marry so much? I kind of don't get it.
I think that from the old time, those women, they got married at 12, 13, 14, had full families, were raising children on their own. It was just a matter of, you need to find someone to take care of you because we can't do it anymore as mom and dad or as whomever. So when you think about slavery and those times, they were jumping the broom. They were getting married.
Yeah.
That was like a ritual, a rite of passage. So I think that when we're talking about grandparents and older, they do speak to you about that. Well, when you get married, you got anybody in mind? It's just, I think it's just them passing things down.
Good evening, Bev. Beverly says, I have a question. If the couple serves in two different churches, who leaves the church? I know what you meant there. Once they marry.
I was under the impression that the woman follows the man. Is that incorrect?
That's how I was raised.
Right.
To believe that. I no longer believe that. I believe that if the couple have a conversation and they come to an agreement, that maybe they do want to stay at her church. And if he, obviously I'm thinking maybe he's been to her church, she's been to his church. I think it's just about a decision and an agreement.
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation. Those are things that you need to put on the table and make a decision. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I agree with that. Okay. Well, Dr. Nancy said that depends on the couple and what they agree to. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
Nita says it's in the Bible, be fruitful and multiply, and you do that by getting married. Well, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's the original purpose. That is the original design. Marriage is God's design. It is, in fact, a beautiful thing. But let's just be honest here. Everybody's not going to get married to be fruitful and multiply.
A lot of people aren't going to have kids.
Okay. That's number one. A lot of people are not going to have children, and a lot of people are going to have children and not be married.
That's a fact.
Okay. So we cannot we cannot shy away from that. Yes, indeed. And see, that's why I wish Dr. Nancy, because she's a relationship marriage lady. But we got some experience. Don't be fooled now. The coach and I, we got. Yeah, she got the paper though.
She got the type faster.
That's right. But the truth of the matter is, there are going to be people who are married. There are going to be people who want to get married, want to be married, and be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And
I think that when you talk about, we understand that he wants to replenish the earth. Yes, we get that. Like you said, everybody is not going to want to do that. That's not the desire that they have. But in being married, it's a choice between two individuals. This isn't talking about God pressuring you to be married. He's not pressuring you, saying it's your time. It's time for you to do this. It's not that. Hey, honey.
Oh, well, hello there.
Look, I had to pop in.
Well, come on in. Come on in, honey. Answer the question.
For a quick second. So I even just in listening to what you all were saying, and I know I interrupted everything, the whole flow, so forgive me, I'm so sorry. But just the first thing, I'm surprised really that they're thinking, that the people in India are thinking that if the police go out after these men, that it's going to keep them out of riffraff and or trouble. How is marriage going to keep them out of that type of trouble? Exactly. So I don't want us thinking that. I do agree with Coach Crystal when she was talking about how the different countries, different ethnicities, different cultures groom their men and their women for marriage. There's an expectation. There's a standard that is set. There is a rearing that takes place to prepare both the young man and the young woman, especially when the marriages are arranged.
Yeah.
Right. They have a different thought process than what we have here in America. The woman knows her place and what her responsibilities are, and the men as well, as far as the household and how it's going to be ran. So that's important that we remember that as well. I've seen Sister Bev speaking about if the two marry, how they're going to decide what churches. Again, that's something that we have to really old ways would say that the woman would leave her ministry and then go with the husband. But again, we have to remember this is a new day and age, and every person has a responsibility and or a call that they have on their life from God. So that would be up to the couple to pray and or seek the face of God as to what they should do, and they have to agree on it. This is going to be so important that the two agree. And then the next thing that I saw was where Nita said being fruitful and being fruitful and multiplying being the purpose for marriage. Well, when we look at being fruitful and multiplying, it's so much more than our children. So we need to even sometimes shy away from that, because being fruitful and multiplying even means as far as building our home. Come on, building our relationship, having some money put away, leaving a legacy behind for our children and for those that are connected to us. So when we're fruitful and multiplying, we're doing more than laying up, y'all, and having babies.
That's
right. There she is. The doctor is in the house, baby.
That's right. I was talking all to the phone and all to the background. I said, "Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord." So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
Well, thank you for your thoughts. Tabitha has a question. Legit. To be fruitful and multiply, is marriage and family the only translation? Well, I think she kind of just
she got that.
Went into that right there. So that's there's more than Tab, if you want to come on, you can come on and join us. It's all right. I'll send you the link. Come on in. Lady Kamisha is here with us. She said, because we multiply once and that's it. That's all we got.
Listen, I'm telling you.
She said, what
it's
done.
A shame. It's really sad that the church for so long, I mean, I don't even know if I really want to say that it's sad, but the church thought for so long, or we always, pastors or those that are teaching marriage and or family have always pointed to that scripture to be just birthing children. But what about the woman who is barren, who cannot birth children? Does that say that she's not fruitful and multiplying? It does not. And so that means we have to now turn to Proverbs, and we have to look at what wisdom says about being fruitful and multiplying. So we've got to be able to rightly divide the word.
Now, what about the person who absolutely has decided that they just don't want to be married? Why is that not okay?
Because society and or people and or your friends pressure you, and just always feel like somebody needs to be married. There are people in the world who do not want to be married, who are okay in their singleness.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Tabitha, please don't drive into nothing. Don't type nothing else until you get.
What did she say?
She said I almost drove into a meeting.
Road, honey.
Please don't drive it. Get home. We're gonna be here for another hour. Get home. Oh, she at home now. All right.
Thank you.
So, and I think that, and we're talking about right now. We're talking about society pressure. It pressures people to get married. And I will never forget when I did, I think it was the Frontline number 2 or 3. I had Pastor Andrea as one of my panelists. And she said, Coach, she said that she was enjoying being single so much that when it was time for her to get married, she was like, man, I gotta let this go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously it was designed, it was God's will for her to get married, but she was enjoying her singleness so much that it was like, man, I can't believe I gotta let this go. And I'm saying that because there are some people who are absolutely happy being single. And
honestly, some people aren't married today or will not be married or are not enjoying a happy marriage because they're not 100% mature in their singleness.
That's right.
You got to be a whole single in order to find a mate and or in order to be with a mate. If marriage is not 50-50 or marriage is not you complete me, that is not what marriage is. True. Marriage is two wholes coming together and building.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to herald what Pastor Andrea said about, man, I was great in being single. And all of a sudden, now that I have to be married, I'm like, dang, what's going on? Oh, man. Because she was complete. She was full.
Yeah.
She knew what her purpose was. She was building. She was living life, traveling. You know what I'm saying? She was doing what she was doing. And she was not even concerned about that. So when a person is whole, they'll be okay.
I think that in relation,
speak the truth, best friend.
I think that in relation to society, it's this how they used to say the American dream. You get a spouse and have 2 kids and a dog and a white picket fence. Right. And I think that that's not everybody's reality. And Bev said, hallelujah on being single. Nita said some people enjoy the freedom. Lady K, not looking for someone to compete you. They don't like to share space. And these are all true. And let me say this. If you are a selfish person, marriage ain't for you right now.
It's not.
You cannot.
You're still learning yourself.
Marriage is not for selfish people.
It is not.
Because what I know is when you get married, you give up the I for us. And if you
what's going on here? Oh, she's on mute. She's on mute.
Hold on. I think that people also miss the shifted level of responsibility or accountability that lies within marriages. It's a lot to answer. It's a lot.
Tab.
Because you cannot do what you want to do when you married.
And therein lies the problem.
You can't do it. You can't stay out as long as you want to. You can't spend your money the way you want to.
You have to be in agreement.
It's a whole lot that comes along with that.
And most of the people that's pressuring you have not come to terms with what it takes to actually be in a marriage. They haven't come to terms with that.
Please excuse me for 1 second, Coach. What is...
I'm scared of dogs, so...
What?
Friend, I know that's right.
Get off of my life. Oh my goodness. Yes, Nina, you have to compromise. I'm not talking to him. I'm not talking to him. It's a whole covenant. Yes, it's a covenant. It's a life of compromise. It's a business contract.
100%.
Okay. Thank you, Tab. I think he might have a fever or something. He needs to get him something to eat. Lay down.
He's well.
It's a whole business contract, this marriage thing, and no matter. Let me say this to each of you, and this is my opinion and my opinion alone. Don't allow the pressures of society to push you into something that you are not ready for.
Amen.
I need to go back to Love is Blind.
Okay.
I need to go back to Clay and AD. And Clay was dogged for saying no at the altar to AD, but we all know that that's a part of the show. That he had to go to the altar.
Correct.
That's just how it works. We don't know what the answer is going to be, but we know that those people that make it out of the pods, they have to go to the altar 9 times out of 10, or whatever. It was a different case for Jeremy and the other lady. But had it been not a phenomenon of a show that they were on and they were just living life like this, boyfriend, girlfriend, oh, we engaged, whatever. I do not believe, because Clay was aware of his demons, I do not believe that he would have in real life, outside of that show, went through the whole parade just to get to the altar and say, nah, sorry, can't do it because I got to work on myself. I don't think he would have done that. I'm saying that for a reason. You should not allow the pressures of society to push you to do something that you absolutely know you are not ready to do. And that is one of the biggest steps that you can take in your life is a marriage. And let me tell you something. How for real I was. I was talking, it probably was on my show, or I've been a guest on other people's shows. And this was some years ago. And they asked me why I was single at the time. And I told what is my truth. I said, because if I married somebody right now, I would mess up their whole life. I said that. And I meant what I said, because I knew I was not ready to be married again. I knew I wasn't ready. I don't care what nobody says.
That's right.
You cannot pressure me. First of all, I'm Helen Chambers' son. You ain't gonna pressure us to do much of nothing, no way. That's just how we made up. But especially something that serious, I know, I knew that I wasn't ready to do it a second time. Hell, for that matter, I probably wasn't ready the first time.
If we really think about it.
You let the hindsight is 2020.
Yeah,
I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did, and I learned a few things.
And
let me just say, even while you're saying that, Pastor Will, it's huge, and it shows your level of maturity. The fact that you're able to say, "I learned a few things from my first mistake, and I'm not where I need to be, or I'm not ready, or I'm not desiring to be married again now." You're absolutely right. We cause a train wreck. We cause major trauma, major damage to not only ourselves, but even to the other person when we put ourselves in a position like that, when we're not ready, when we're not complete, when we're not whole. And it's not fair to either of us.
It's not.
AD and Clay, because I was reading today. Here's a little something for everybody.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, come on with it.
Right. I was reading today that AD herself, while we all drag and poke Clay, AD wasn't ready. Her finances are not in place. They say now the grapevine.
I read that.
Oh, sugar daddy and everything. Somebody is already bankrolling her, and so she wasn't ready herself. But she didn't reveal that.
Yep, it's true.
Well, that didn't come to the light. I'm not going against my girl. I ain't going against Clay. Honestly, the only thing I was upset about is that he did it at the altar. I understand that you're not ready. I'm with it. You're not ready. You're not ready.
Look, y'all, Tabitha said at my sister's wedding, she literally walked up to me and handed me the bouquet, and I handed it right back. Listen, you won't put that on me. Get that off of me.
And that's why premarital counseling is so very, 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 did I say that's very, very, very,
I think so.
Very important, because you really need to go through all of those steps. Again, we're coming through times and traditions and days, or our parents, if you will, grandparents, aunts and uncles who necessarily didn't have premarital counseling, but now we know so much more. We know better. And so when we know better, we do better, which means that premarital counseling is more than just, I love you, or let's get married. Will you marry me? Ooh, I want the white dress. Because baby, after that white dress is off.
Baby.
Right. Yeah.
After you see that hall, baby, life gets real. Life is really lifing. So you really need to be prepared for the responsibility, for the commitment, for the covenant, for, like you said, the business.
The business
of marriage, because it is a business.
I have another question I want to ask, and before I do, those of you that are watching, I really need you to do three things. Number one, I need you to share this.
Share.
Number two, I would that you would it's going across your screen now. If you can share a $7 gift with us tonight, and number three, don't forget to register for those classes that start next week. All right. Now, I have a question, Coach Crystal. What's worse, the pressure that other people put on us, or the pressure that we put on ourselves?
Well, it's always the pressure you put on yourselves, because you know yourself the best. The people that are putting pressure on you are they just talking. They're really just talking. Now, it's up to you whether you're going to fall prey to the peer pressure. So it's what you put on yourself.
Okay.
That's the heaviest.
I agree with that. Because we, as it is said, we are our own worst critics.
Yep.
Can be our own worst enemies.
But that takes a level of honesty, right? When we're our own worst critics, I kind of think that the peer pressure is worse when it comes from people. And why I say that is because so often we want to please those that we're connected with. So our grandparents, our aunts, uncles, our moms, our best friends, those who think, girl, that's a good man. Don't you let that man go, girl. He gonna do this, that. And dude, like that's that woman right there. Come on, she the one. Then you have all that pressure, and now you can't even think straight because you're trying to answer to the pressure of all of that.
I would never do that to you.
I know that.
I'm actually gonna pull you to the side and say, baby, look here. Get out of there.
Run.
Get out of there.
I'm gonna be like, girl, let's go out this back door because you can make fool out of your
Put that bouquet down. Put that bouquet down. We ain't worried about it.
See, I kind of like that right there, where you have somebody who is willing to be honest with you and say, you might not want to do this for whatever reason, as opposed to, well, girl, you know, X, Y, and Z, he make a lot of money.
Well, you know, y'all been together for so long. I mean, this is the next step.
And you watch your friend, your sister, your brother, your children make a fool out of themselves or make the biggest mistake ever because of the pressure that you're putting on them. Ooh, here's the best one of all. You all have kids together. How many of us have heard that? Oh, that's your baby daddy. That's your baby mama.
So let's switch. Let's switch now from society to family.
Okay.
Because that right there.
That right
They'll
there.
hold that one over your head. They'll hold that one over your head. Your kids are watching you. You have to show them an example. Are you sure this is the example you want me to show them?
Exactly.
Because let me tell you right now.
Oh, you gotta take a drink. Okay.
Let me tell you. It's some folks right now that are married that, in my opinion, should have never gotten married.
Oh, it's plenty of them.
They family folks. And especially that, well, y'all already got kids, or you got a kid already, you might as well. Or why we might as well?
Do it before the baby get here. Make sure that the baby is born to a mother and a father. You a full family. It's plenty of reasons.
But y'all got to remember that comes from a time where that's what they believed, and that's what
they believed.
And so when we hear that, we're not hearing that from people of our age, if you will. We're hearing that from older people, because that's what they really believed and that's what they did. And they prided themselves on raising their children in, the two-parent household,
See,
and a lot of times people think that there's this time frame, that there's this window, right? You're young, you guys can try to start building, but a lot of marriages do their best once you've learned yourself and you've matured. Not getting married as soon as you graduate from college or as soon as you get out and you get a job, sometimes you need to be 30 or 40 because you know what's going on. But that pressure from family is like, well, what's taking so long?
Why are you ready for? And that's why I left this comment up here. They always gonna apply pressure. Once you get married, it's when the baby coming. Then when you had a baby, then it's when you're going to get that one a sibling. It's always pressure to do something when in relation to, from our family folks.
Well, and it's a lot of reasons that they do that. Some is because they come from the old school, right? This is what I've been taught. This is what's been passed down. This is how the legacy goes. But then you have people who have already placed themselves in situations and they're stuck and they don't want to be alone in that situation. They like company.
Yeah. You better show them the right example, and it's not peer pressure.
It's not.
It is not. People are never satisfied. And let me say this too, because folks, they'll tell you, and I've heard it said, your biological clock is ticking. Well, ma'am, my biological clock ain't your concern.
And I can put another battery in it, ma'am. Just gone.
Listen. They're not paying no bills and won't keep the kids, but they just want to say.
That's right. They're not paying no bills, and they don't have to pay for their divorce, or those babies, or that wedding, or that counseling, or any other stuff that go along with it. They don't.
And had they not been pressured or forced to get married, you wouldn't have to talk about divorce right now.
Come on.
Because they shouldn't have been married in the first place.
Been married in the first place.
Tabby says she threw her clock out.
Don't ask me about no clock.
Dr. Carmita is here with us tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We miss you on the show. Glad that you are here. Pressure from folks that may be just as miserable. I believe that too. It's a lot of different reasons why, and don't get me wrong, I do believe that when it comes to family, I believe that your family in most cases should want the best for you.
They should.
But dare I say that the best for me may not be a married me.
That's right.
It may just be me being the best version of myself that I can be. Yep. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Now, we have pressure from society. Mm-hmm. We have pressure from our friends and our peers and our family. And now we have, pressure from the church. I got a lot to say about that. When I think about this subject, I immediately think about Kim Franklin, who is one of the sweetest people that I know. She is well established, very, very good career. Kim got a little change. I believe it. I believe that. Yeah, got a little change.
You putting all the business.
He telling it all. Right.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And she is, hey, Patrina, glad you could join us again tonight. She is of a certain age where the church would have been done said, let me say back in the day, why you ain't married? And we talked about this, Kim Franklin, Minister Kim Franklin. She was on that same panel that Pastor Andre was on that when I did the Frontline. And let me tell you, this is a woman who she really knows what the word content means. And that's how she lives. She like, if he come, okay. If he don't, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Never been married. She doesn't have any children. And she's cool. And I think we have talked about this before. I remember saying it. it's a I think it's a double standard when it comes to the black church and singles. I think it's a difference for men than it is for women. Because, and I laugh all the time when I say this or I talk to people, I think that when a woman reaches 40 in her 40s and she's never been married, no children, it's like as if the church is like, oh, she waiting on God. She waiting. Proud of her. Keeping herself. But if you have a man that's about 40 with no kids, they think something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Y'all, hello, lights. They think something wrong with him. They think he might be gay. Or that's usually what they say. And I think that that's wrong. And I think that it's inappropriate. Why can't the man be waiting on God too? And why can't either of them just not want to be married? Because the black church for centuries, I'm sure, says that's not what the design is. You got to be married. And I just don't agree with that. I don't.
That's just how they put it into context. You know, everything has a context. So if you're reading just like earlier, be fruitful and multiply, that you need to read the first verse and the one after. And then you need to reference other verses so that you can get the full context. But
rightly divide.
We do what we see. We do what we see. Okay. Yeah. I grew up, my mama got married, so I'm supposed to get married, because how many little girls said, when I grow up and get married? And then once you grow up and you get to living, you think, that might not be what I want to do, or maybe I don't want to do it as soon. It's about you making your own way and doing what you need to do for you. But people have their own opinions, and a lot of times they want to put those opinions on you, whether it be the church or just daily.
I think a lot of times churches come up with that is where the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. And then the Lord goes on to say, so for him, I'm going to create a helpmeet. So I think that a lot of times the people in the church, the leadership, or those that are watching, men and or women, are always saying, okay, well, when you're going to get married, it's not good for you to be by yourself. They want you to have a wife and this, that, and the other. And the idea is that, again, here we go back to being fruitful and multiplying, that the man's going to find a woman or be with a woman and he can marry and then be fruitful and multiply. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where a lot of it has come from. Howsoever, if you are not ready, again, we have to go back to that as well. And if you are content in, let's say, going after your career, right? Because some people want to get established. They want to grow in their careers, and they want to even still be in school and getting an education, right? Yeah. Or in the service. And, I know some amazing people who are in the service who enjoy going through the ranks of the military. Yeah. So if that's what a person is desiring to do, then honestly, they cannot necessarily be weighed down with the family because they're so focused on what they're doing. And we need to allow them to be able to do that. If and when they decide that they want to be married, then we need to be able to, allow that decision to move forward. But other than that, I think that, everybody has to themselves and make that decision.
I think just because we may want something for someone, I think that we have to allow them to come to that realization for themselves. Because just because we think it might be a good idea, they might not think so. And I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. Whatever their decision is, it should just be okay.
It should.
It should be okay.
It should be okay. And let's not forget as well that a lot of times, and I'm sorry, I just cut you off. Let's not forget, because I thought about this and I want to make sure we toss it in there. A lot of times the church also does it. I don't want us to give the church such a bad report either. But a lot of times the church also does it because, for sake of conversation, they want to help us, refrain from sin. we see premarital sex in the church as sinning, right? As fornicating.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Let's not, because we all grown, huh? And everybody
we are, but I got something to say about that.
Yeah, I'm still not getting married.
I got something. No, that ain't what I was gonna say.
So I'm
what I was gonna say.
As to why we get the peer pressure from the church. That's I'm not. Of course, everybody gonna do.
They definitely don't want you shacking. None of that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Understand the danger that may be ahead if you influence someone toward the wrong choice at the wrong time. Come on, that's danger. Yep. That's danger.
Yeah.
While you're asking that question, what's your address? You need to take care of your home. I'm good, single, educated, and employed. Come on, doctor. That's what I'm talking about. Dr. Nancy, I agree with what you said, and I have no choice but to agree with it because it is scriptural. However, marriage don't keep you from sexual sin.
No, it does not. You absolutely
can I talk to some grown folks tonight?
Talk to the grown folks. It does not. It does not.
Getting married does not keep you from sexual sin, ma'ams and sirs.
No, it
doesn't. Okay? I want you to know.
Get your sexy back.
They better come on the 20th April.
Because we on the subject. Hey.
Right.
It does not keep you. You know what keeps you from that? A made-up mind.
Yeah.
Because you can get married. I know plenty of folks that's married and still stepping out on their spouse. Act like you don't know. Oh boy, y'all ain't. Anyway. Hey, Carla, how you doing there? So glad you're with us tonight. We just having some adult conversation because it's the truth. Marriage does not cure promiscuity.
It does not. It does not. And we've seen that time and time again.
Y'all.
Right? We've seen that time and time again where and in real life, we don't have to just talk about celebrities, but where people bounce around things. So you're absolutely right. Marriage is not a guarantee for anyone.
It's not a cure.
Let's just get
from anything.
Marriage it doesn't even cure loneliness because you can be in a whole marriage in the house with somebody and be alone.
Yes. So so true. Marriage is not a cure-all. Again, that's why, like we said at the top of the hour, like I stated at the top of the hour, it's important that you are whole when you go into your marriage.
Yeah,
it's important that you are 100% whole, not taking any baggage from a previous relationship. Expecting the other person to complete you or to make you or to, affirm you. I mean, we do affirm in each other in our marriages. However, you're not looking for that. You don't need that.
It's not a necessity.
It's
right. So if I'm bold enough to ask, if someone says to me or is trying to tell me why I need to get married, I'm going to ask you, why do you want this for me so badly? I want to know what your reason for trying to push me down the aisle is, especially if I have already shown or said to you, it's not for me.
Not for me.
All right. I'll get back to that in a second. And so here's the other thing about that. While I fully respect that old school upbringing, it was a rule generated to control our behavior. That truth is that control should be released from others, and we in turn should exercise our own control and discipline. We have to put on the big kid pants and answer to God for ourselves. And this is what I was saying a little bit ago. You cannot, I don't care what institution it is, if it's the church, if it's school, if it's society, I don't care. You cannot say that you need to get married so you can control yourself, so you won't fall into sin. No, that's not the answer. I'm sorry. Marriage is for two individuals who, number one, who have made up in their mind that they know that this is what they want to do. They know that there's somebody out there for them, willing to love them the way they need to be loved, the way they want to be loved, and they will in return reciprocate, and they will be happily together and married and have a family and do all of that. All right? Mm-hmm. But these are also individuals who have, like I said a minute ago, a made-up mind that ain't nobody else for me. So it's those people who don't have an issue, who they ain't gonna have no problem falling into sin, because some people just feel like can't nobody do me like him or her, whatever the case may be. You know, some people don't want nobody else. Once they find their person, That's good. Right.
That's right.
So it's not a matter of marriage to control my desires. That's discipline. Like Tabitha said, that's fruit of the spirit. Come on, self-control, temperance.
Yeah.
Marriage don't do that. You need to have self-control before you even think about getting married. Not using marriage to teach you self-control. No, I need you to grow up before you say I do.
So I'm so glad you said that. So now that we have this, we need to do something on singles, right?
We definitely. Because
there's so many things that you need to do in your singleness.
I'm here for it all. We can definitely do that, because some married folks just ain't satisfied. They have fetishes and want more. Oh, that's a Dr. Nancy thing right there. She can talk about fetishes within the women thing on April 20th. Y'all better go to that, because we ain't talking about that tonight.
We can do that in the other room. We'll have to have it
in the breakout room.
That's important too. You know, again. And I'm going to leave it there, but it's important that even while we're saying this, that we're mindful that we're supposed to meet each other's needs.
That's right.
So, you know, some fetishes ain't all bad. So now I'm just saying.
And everybody ain't saying no to all of them. You just got to find your person.
You got to find your person where y'all can do what y'all want to do.
That's right. Because the bed is undefiled. That bedroom for a husband and a wife. Now, I'm not saying again that everything is okay in there, but there are some things, come on, that are permissible in the bedroom.
Well, good for y'all.
But Nita, we'll discuss that in another room.
Y'all gotta have a breakout room.
Right.
Breakout room. Tab says, now I'm grateful they prevented me from some stupid stuff. We have to grow up and experience choice and consequence. So true, so true. Carla says she is team single. That's all right, singles, let's find us some business. Oh, don't get triggered. Don't get triggered,
Tab. We're not triggered.
Yeah, I talked to you privately about this comments you just put on this screen, ma'am. Yeah. Listen. You guys, I don't care how old you are, young you are. Good night, Mama. We know it's your bedtime.
Good night.
Good night.
8 o'clock comes, she got to roll, okay? Listen, it don't matter. Well, I take that back. It does matter. I was going to say it don't matter where you are in life, but it does matter you are in life. Because let me tell you about a man that wants to be married. Okay, he is going to be established before he even approaches you, ma'am. He should be.
I was going to say, should be. Yeah,
he should be. Because let me tell you what you don't want to do. Y'all don't want to struggle together.
No way. My daddy said you bad all by yourself.
We talking some good stuff tonight, and y'all gonna act like we not. But we talking right tonight.
We talking
Stop marrying potential. Potential does nothing.
No, come on.
You have to marry actions. He got to be moving in it.
You listen. That's right.
We're not struggling together. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna wait.
I'm not struggling, so it's not a together thing. I'm not gonna have you over there struggling, and I'm making it. And I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. So. No, that's not that ain't I'm triggered in that too many are waiting and wishing. Do something with your time, please go. See, this is what takes me back to what I said about Andrea Hudson.
Yeah.
She was like that. She was killing the game.
Yeah.
When she was single.
me that there are women, like seriously, and I hope I'm not offending anyone, but to see our single women on Facebook writing love letters to men that they don't have.
Oh God!
Okay, I'll be quiet. I'm sorry.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
I just
how I loathe those posts
because I just every time I see them, I just yeah. Okay.
Dear future husband.
Yeah, I can't take it. Yeah.
Ma'am, dear future you, get yourself together.
Yeah, because see, that's looking very desperate, and what you're really doing is running him off.
You're a pick me. He's not picking you.
He's not looking for you. He's not.
Because guess what? He's only looking for one. And when he finds her, there will be nothing that can stop him from doing everything he can to satisfy and please her. Just her. And
chase her.
That's it. Just her.
Through the night.
What my friend?
You want me to, she said you want me to stay triggered, huh?
No, Frig, you know I don't want you to be triggered. No.
That's what Carla, that is the whole point. Take your singleness to focus on yourself. Listen,
there's some things to do in marriage that you won't be able to do. Wait a minute, am I saying this? I may be saying this backwards. There are so many things that singles are able to do that once you're married,
you cannot
have the privilege of doing.
That's
right?
True.
Right.
We have to answer to somebody. Y'all better enjoy that. Just answering to yourself, coming and going as you please, huh?
See, that's the part. That answering to. That. What you mean? Where I've been in my skin?
Because there are things that
but it's not even so much. It's not the way that it sounds when you saying answering to. It's not the way that it sounds. This is a matter of consideration and taking into account another person's feelings. And sometimes that's a lot. That's a lot to put on your shoulders. Everybody is not prepared for that. I don't care how great you were in your singleness. You may or may not be ready for that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I agree. So we do one on that, you know.
Yeah.
Even with maybe here, I'll say one more and then I will shut up because y'all gonna really rub it. But because this one comes up often in marriage counseling or marriage getaways, them cell phones, you know, the single and versus the married with the cell phones. That's a whole nother situation as well. So you know
I got attention deficit. So I may be listening, I may not, you know, it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I just want everybody to be happy, whether that is with a spouse or without.
Because you still got a window of dating. You can still, you know, you're mingling, you're talking. There's still that window that you're dating and, you know, you're making decisions, making choices. I like this. I don't like that.
Right.
And then once you find that person, you kind of hone in. Now let's kind of streamline this.
Right.
Can we do this?
Yeah. I think that, you know, I can't stress enough to take time to focus on yourself because it is the truth. It is the truth. Let me tell you, just in case anybody misunderstood anything that I've said tonight, marriage is a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
For those that want it. Now let's just
close that thing out.
Close that thing out now.
For
those
that want it.
And if you want it, I'm gonna encourage you to get to it.
Amen.
I'll encourage you, but I won't pressure you.
I'm not gonna pressure you. This is what you want? Okay. Well, then let's walk this thing down.
Now, if it's something that you want, if marriage is something that you want, I do have some advice for you. Get with somebody who's successful at it already.
That is correct.
Let them teach you some things. Let them talk to you about some things. Okay?
Talk to you.
Nita says she just celebrated 8 years on the 19th. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And happy anniversary again to you and Clive. Get under somebody who can show you some things, who can teach you some things, because you ain't never been a wife before, you ain't never been a husband before.
Ooh,
so true.
So, and just like parenting,
yeah,
yes,
being a spouse don't come with a manual either.
It don't, but you get thrown into that parenting thing. Once you're pregnant, you in it.
Yeah. So my advice is to, if that is your desire,
know yourself first.
Listen, yeah.
How can you expect something from another person and you don't know what you want?
You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want, what you're looking for, what you want. Because guess what? And I tell people this all the time. You have a voice.
Yeah.
You have a voice.
For sure.
So you have to use it. If you don't exercise that voice, then you can't blame anyone but yourself. So I have a right to say, I want this and I don't want that. And you can do that in your singleness, right?
Yeah.
And even when peer pressure comes along, you can say, all right, look, mom and dad, I don't want a bald head man. I prefer that.
I know that's right. You got to have some.
Wait, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Wait.
Okay, well, we'll flip it around. I don't want a man with hair on his head. I want my man not to have any hair on his head. You know what I'm saying? We have a right. You have a voice, and
you have a voice.
You have a voice.
Yeah, and you have the right to be, to pick and choose.
You can be as choosy as you want to be.
As choosy as you want. Yeah.
But I will say this: even in being choosy, you have to know what you're willing to put up with, where you're drawing the line, what's unacceptable. What are the boundaries? Where can you bend? And you need to figure that out in your singleness.
Yeah.
And this is why,
because you can't wait till you get married and say, let me figure this out. No, you got to figure that out before.
It's too late. It's too late at that point. You in it.
It's too late, man.
Too late.
And another thing. Stop. And let me talk to some single women right now. Listen to this and listen to me good. Stop expecting him to come and rescue you. No.
That's not his job.
No.
And
he ain't supposed to come to rescue you.
The same. Don't expect him to rescue her, because that happens too. We're talking peer pressure tonight, right? All things peer pressure. A lot of times, friends and family will think, oh, that guy, he got a house and he got a car, and and that man got a good job, girl. Are you crazy?
And don't nobody even know who name on the mortgage. Stop.
So no. That's
no. Hey, wait a minute, Nancy. Nita says she loves her bald head men.
Here we go again.
And Carla says she just became Team Ball. Come on.
No.
Y'all just put him out.
That's what I learned in my family. You have to have some hair.
So that's really important in all things peer pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because those are tactics. Those are tactics, and those are the things people use and or say, girl, are you crazy? That man worked for whomever. That man worked for NASA. He got all this money. You better marry him. No, because you can have all this
number. Let me get this number for you.
Have all that money and still be miserable.
I know
that. And still be miserable. Dr. Carmita said, do a credit check, a police background, bank account. Do they have effective? See, all this stuff needs to be found out before y'all say I do.
Well, you definitely need that credit check, because if y'all looking to buy a house, everything got to be in order. I got to know some stuff.
And stop expecting this on either side, man or woman. Stop expecting holding people to, they got to have this, they got to have this, they got to have, you got all these standards that you want them to meet, but you don't have yourself.
But you know what that's a result of?
Credit, but you don't have it, or you want her to have credit.
That's a result of that lingering residue from the last relationship.
Yeah, no.
This didn't work, so I'm going to make sure he this, he that. Hey, get over that. Get over that. You starting fresh.
Right.
Nita said, I laughed at people who've been married 79 times. Like, dang, how many times until you get it right? You know what? That's what I said about Steve Harvey. I said, now, he keep getting divorced. I hope this one lasts.
He don't get divorced twice.
Well, how we can't.
Ain't that a lot?
Who was it? Elizabeth Taylor?
has been divorced and
about
married
9 times, 7, 8,
exactly.
9 times.
I thought we was like at number 13 or something. I don't know, but
yeah, it's up there. Her and her
on doing it.
If you gonna take some advice, this is just my opinion. It's my show, so I can say what I want to say. But if you gonna take some advice from somebody, I said a few minutes ago, take some advice from somebody who has a successful marriage. Yes. If that's what you want to do. I recommend Martise and Nancy Murphy.
Oh, thank you.
But I do. Heed the advice.
You gotta pay attention, and you gotta pay them too, because they don't do this for free.
Don't have them out just talking, because I could be talking to somebody else who really want it.
Amen.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, yep. But we laughing, but in all seriousness, if you guys are really, looking for a spouse or waiting for a spouse, woman, if you need to know what to do, how to prepare,
she probably turned that camera off.
Where's she going?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I highly recommend them as marriage counselors. They do premarital counseling, post-marital counseling, right now marital counseling. They do all of that stuff. And I don't speak on them much in this regard, but I love them together.
Yeah.
It's a joy to see them, Martise and Nancy Murphy, the way they love each other. I love to see it. And these are people who, y'all, they have a successful marriage. And this is, I believe, why they're so good at what they do in relation to marriages and relationships. That's why when I talk a lot about relationships, I throw a lot of questions at her, because she's good at it and is succeeding at it. So, your
hey,
panelist is with us tonight. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello there, Miss Ivana. We did make that announcement earlier tonight. Dr. Nancy and Miss Ivana Miles. Ladies, for Wives Only, we want you to support that event. Again, it's for wives only, taking sexy back. Candid conversations about healthy intimacy. This is on Saturday, April 20th at 1 p.m. And to register for that event, you can go right here to www.andreashudson.com/events. So we are glad to have Ivana peek her head in with us tonight.
She is, I think I've said this, I don't know if I've even told you this before, but she is my little sister. Ivana and I and my sister Melanie, we were all raised together. Our parents were friends and knew we got in trouble together.
Well,
and so when
Ivana, I would love to talk to you so I can tell you about your sister, okay? I will talk
when the flyer came out, I texted her. I said, well, look at it. The Lord had put us on a flyer together. We have grown together. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this series has been amazing.
It has.
It really, really has. And again, it was something that I saw on social media that pushed me to do this series. There's something for everybody in this series.
Yeah.
Right? And we did the first week we talked about sexual preferences. This is something that needs to be discussed before you say I do. All right. And then we talked about money. What's the money like? What's your credit? What's your credit score? Right. Do you have outstanding debts? These are all things that
don't forget the kids.
Ronald, great to be with us tonight. Glad to have you. You will be seeing him and his wife on the self-checkout show really, really soon. I did talk to the Mrs. and they are going to come on the show. So we can't wait for that. Last week we talked about family interference. When the folks, you need to check folks' families out before you marry them, because when you marry them, you got their family too. Okay,
100%.
All right. And of course, tonight I feel pressure, and our main goal. We agree tonight, myself, the coach, and the doctor. We agree tonight that you should not allow anyone to pressure you into a marriage that you know you are not ready for.
That's right.
Okay? Take some time and work on yourself. Men and women alike, you don't get married and that man or that woman has to raise you.
Woo.
Come on. You need to be grown.
Real grown.
You even think about becoming the spouse to somebody else. Brothers, can you provide?
Can you protect?
Come on, can you provide for your house? Can you protect that house?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? It's more to it than just saying, I want a wife. I want to be married. You got to learn some stuff. All right. There's so much more we could say about it, but we are going to definitely have some sessions for the single people. We might, I don't know. Coach, we might have to do this on Zoom. We might not have to do this.
Well, we have to bring. I got to bring my baby sister. Melanie got to come on up in through here.
We got to do something.
We have plenty of singles. See, I think that
we might have to do a special night for Melanie, because she ain't available on Mondays. We might have to do a special night. Oh, that's a good one. Are you emotionally ready? Because if you are emotionally unavailable,
it's over.
It's done before it even started.
It's over.
Tabitha said, but this in honesty is why prayer and relationship with God is necessary, so that we can be sober in hearing and making the best choices for our own journey in relationships, choosing counsel, etc. I agree with that. You guys have been so amazing for sticking it out with us these 4 weeks. And also, do not forget that Sharpening Our Swords Spiritual Gifts classes begin next Monday night. Again, the self-checkout show will not be on for the next 4 weeks. We will not be back on until Monday, May 6th. If you want to be a part of these classes, reach out to me. The first class does start next Monday. It is not live. We will not be on live. It is on Zoom. And you do have to register for that. The class is only $25. The first class will be with Prophetess Paula Dickens of the Powerhouse Chicago, led under the leadership of Archbishop William Hudson III and Lady Andrea Hudson. She will begin teaching on the gift of wisdom. And then the second week, she will be teaching on the gift of knowledge. All right. So these are 2 weeks that she has. The third week is Prophetess Angela Smith, who's going to be teaching about the gift of discerning of spirits. Mm-hmm. And then week 4 and week 5 will be my very own co-pastor, Dr. Linda Stennis, and she is going to be teaching on the gift of working of miracles and the gift of faith. All right. All of you who are in ministry, who are ministers or lay leaders, any part of the fivefold, you need to be a part of these classes. Reach out to me. You need to get registered. I would prefer you do it sooner than later. Well, it's already later. We only have a week before it starts. I do not want to be taking registration on the day of. I got a lot to do to prepare for this stuff, right? So I need you all to get registered. If you don't know how, reach out to me. I can show you the way. For those of you that are watching via Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Live, we appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you for making our night every Monday night. Some of you feel like we make your night, but I'm telling you, you make our Monday night. We appreciate all of you all for your comments, for your likes, for your shares, and for talking back with us. Of course, this is the Self-Checkout Show. It is your favorite Christian talk show, and it is where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. We're going to say good night. Good night, and we will see you again on Monday, May 6th, back here in another month. For Coach Crystal, for Dr. Nancy, I'm Pastor Will. We love you guys. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you in May.
See you later.